Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're plunging into something incredibly practical. I think this is going to be a real game changer for, well, anyone who uses spreadsheets. We're talking about automating Excel tasks, but here's the kicker. Imagine mastering Excel without needing to be some kind of coding guru or a formula wizard. Our sources are promising something pretty revolutionary here, saying no coding, no formulas, just simple natural language. Using ChatGPT, this is really about making Excel work for you, changing how you deal with your data.
And that's exactly it. It's a whole different way of thinking, isn't it?
Yeah.
It hits directly on those, common pain points we all face, like the mind-numbing manual repetition. Oh, and just the sheer volume of data sometimes, information overload, and then trying to get meaningful insights out of it quickly. That's the struggle. So our mission in this deep dive really is to explore exactly how ChatGPT can become this, ultimate Excel co-pilot, saving you huge amounts of time, delivering insights, all just through, talking to it. Natural conversation. It's about empowering you to apply knowledge fast, sure, but also to maybe rethink what's possible with your data.
Okay, so let's dive into that first big area. Formulas. We've all been there, right? You need some complex Excel formula, maybe conditional stuff, but you just don't know where to start. Could be simple calculations, could be more tricky scenarios. Our sources use a great example, just some raw data in Excel. Columns like employee name, department, monthly salary, overtime, leave days, and then, net salary, standards. Right. So how does ChatGPT help here? It's actually pretty straightforward. You copy that raw data, just select it, copy it, paste it directly into ChatGPT. Let's say you want to calculate net salary. That's monthly salary plus overtime minus the leave deduction. You just use a simple prompt, something like, write the Excel formula to calculate net salary using monthly salary, overtime, and leave deduction. And what's amazing is ChatGPT gives you the exact formula, like G2 plus F2 C2 or whatever it is for your sheet. You just copy that formula.
Paste it right into Excel.
Exactly. Paste it in the cell, hit enter, then maybe use Ctrl plus D to drag it down the whole column. Done. And get this, the source even mentions you can often use your own native language for the prompts.
Wow.
Yeah. And ChatGPT understands. It's like having a universal translator just for Excel formula.
Now that accessibility is huge.
It really is. And it doesn't stop at simple stuff. What if you need more complexity? Like, say you want to give a 10% bonus only to employees in the IT department before calculating net salary. You just refine the prompt. You tell it, in column B department, I want to add 10% bonus before calculating net salary. ChatGPT will figure that out and give you a new, more complex formula, probably involving an IF statement. Now, here's a key tip from the source. It's really important. When you paste that new modified formula, make sure you paste it inside the cell's formula bar. Don't just click the cell and paste over it. Apparently, sometimes Excel can be a bit funny about that, and it might not register the change properly or give you errors if you just paste over.
Ah, okay. Good tip. Inside the formula bar itself. Got it. But what's fascinating here, really, is how quickly you can generate that complex conditional logic without needing to, deeply understand nested IFs or anything like that. Just imagine the time saved. Not having to debug those intricate IF statements you built yourself, trying to find that missing comma.
Oh, tell me about it. Debugging formulas can be such a headache. Which actually brings us nicely to the next point. Errors. We've all faced that moment. Total frustration. Excel throws an error. Value at, shoe A, B, 0A, or just those horrible hashtag signs. And you just stare at it thinking, why? Why isn't this working? What if you could just ask for help?
Like a formula debugger on demand.
Exactly. The source gives a simple example. An intentionally wrong formula, like SUM9. Which doesn't make sense, right? You sum a range, not a single number like that. So you copy that broken formula, SUM9, paste it into ChatGPT, and you ask something simple like, could you please assist resolving this formula? And ChatGPT doesn't just say it's wrong. It tells you why it's incorrect, explains the logic, and then crucially, it gives you correct working alternatives. Like maybe you meant SUM A1.A9 or something else entirely. It's like having a built-in tutor, a very patient one who explains your mistakes.
Right. And if you connect that to the bigger picture, well, it means you genuinely don't have to remember every single formula syntax in Excel anymore. The whole focus shifts, doesn't it? It moves away from rote memorization, like, trying to recall how to build every VLO up or index match from scratch. Instead, you focus on understanding your data. What do you want to achieve with it? And then you just need to ask the right questions. Your brain power goes towards analysis, not syntax recall.
That's a great way to put it. It frees you up, though I guess you still need some basic understanding of what's possible in Excel.
Oh, absolutely. It's a tool to enhance your skills, not replace fundamental understanding. you still need to know what you want to calculate or analyze.
Right.
Okay, so we've seen it handle formulas, fix errors,
Hmm.
but what about those really tedious, repetitive tasks, the ones that just eat up hours? Our sources highlight a classic example, something many people in HR or finance will definitely recognize: generating individual salary slips for every single employee, and then exporting each one as a separate PDF. Think about doing that manually. You copy data for employee 1, filter maybe, paste it into a template sheet, format it, print to PDF, then repeat for everyone. The source calls it, quite rightly, incredibly time-consuming.
Oh, yeah. That kind of task is exactly where automation shines, but it raises that key question. How do you automate something like that if you can't write code or don't want to learn VBA? That's where ChatGPT's ability to actually generate VBA code Visual Basic for applications, well, that's a real game changer. It lets you create these little custom automation scripts without you ever needing to learn programming. Exactly. And the prompt is surprisingly simple. Something like, write a VBA macro to generate salary slips from Excel raw data and export as a PDF. You just need to make sure you mention the sheet name with the raw data, that's important. Then ChatGPT gives you the VBA code itself,
The actual script.
the actual script.
Yeah.
And it doesn't just dump it on you. It gives clear step-by-step instructions on how to use it. It tells you, okay, press Alt plus F11 to open the VBA editor in Excel, then go to Insert Module, paste the code there, and here's another critical step it points out. You must save your Excel workbook as a macro-enabled workbook, usually a .xlsm file.
Right. Otherwise, the macro won't be saved with the file and it won't run later.
Precisely. So you follow those steps, save it correctly, then you run the macro.
And what happens?
Magic happens. Well, not magic, code. The macro runs, and it automatically loops through your employee data, creating an individual PDF salary slip for each person, and saves them all, usually in the same folder as your Excel file.
That's just transformative for certain workflows. Think about an HR or finance team. Instead of spending hours, maybe even days on that manual process, especially in larger companies, they can now run this macro, maybe takes a few minutes, and suddenly their time is freed up. They can focus on analyzing the data, maybe looking at salary trends, forecasting, strategic planning, higher value activities. It really frees up that human expertise that was just being bogged down by rote tasks before.
Absolutely. Higher value activities. That's key. Okay, so let's shift gears slightly. We've done formulas, errors, automation. What about actually understanding the data, getting insights? What if your manager comes along and asks for, say, a quick summary? Or maybe a chart to visualize trends, like average salaries by department, something like that.
Yeah, moving beyond just calculation into analysis and visualization.
Right. So for summaries, it's, again, pretty simple. Copy your data, paste it into ChatGPT, ask something like, summarize this by department, who earns the most salary? And ChatGPT will process it and give you that summarized information right back. Quick insights.
Okay, that's useful for quick answers. But what about creating visuals like charts? Does it just give you the chart?
Well, this is where it acts more like a guide, which is maybe even more powerful. You could ask it for, say, a bar chart in Excel comparing average salary as per department. Now, ChatGPT might initially suggest a formula-based way, but here's the clever bit, based on the source. You can follow up. You can say, actually, I want a pivot table to do this task for me.
Yeah.
And for anyone listening who isn't super familiar, a pivot table is like Excel's superpower for summarizing and analyzing big data sets really quickly.
Incredibly powerful, but sometimes intimidating if you haven't used them much.
Exactly. But ChatGPT makes it accessible. It will then give you detailed step-by-step instructions for creating that pivot table. It'll say, okay, drag the department field into the rows area, then drag net salary into the values area. And then, crucially, it'll tell you how to change the calculation from the default sum to average, because that's what you asked for. Then, once the pivot table is set up with the right data, it guides you on inserting the chart. Like select the pivot table data, go to Insert, choose Chart, maybe a clustered column chart.
So what really stands out there is it's not just giving you the finished product. It's giving you the process. It's actually teaching you how to use Excel's own powerful features, pivot tables, charts, even if you've never touched them before or you're a bit rusty on the steps. That's not just about getting a task done faster. It's actually enabling critical thinking, right? Helping you interpret your data because you understand how the summary or the visual was created. It turns you from maybe just a data entry person into more of a data explorer.
Yeah, data explorer. I like that. And because it gives you the steps, you learn along the way. Okay, so before we wrap up this deep dive, let's just quickly boil down some core advice from our sources. 3 simple, smart prompting tips to really get the most out of ChatGPT for Excel tasks.
Good idea. Practical takeaways.
First, Be specific with your column names. If your column is called monthly salary, use monthly salary in your prompt. Don't just say salary. Helps avoid confusion. Second, ask for step-by-step format. Especially for complex things like VBA or pivot tables, getting those clear steps makes it much easier to follow and learn. And third, quest for a formula and explanation combo. Don't just ask for the formula. Ask ChatGPT to explain why that formula works. What does each part do? That way, you're not just copying and pasting blindly, you're actually understanding the logic, which helps you solve similar problems yourself later.
Mhm. That last one is so important because knowledge is really only valuable when you understand it and can apply it yourself. These tips aren't just about efficiency. They're about enriching your learning journey. They help you understand the why behind the what's. Makes you more adaptable, more capable in the long run. It really shifts your role from just, receiving an answer to actively engaging with and understanding the solution.
Well said. So, just to recap then, we've seen this incredible versatility of using ChatGPT with Excel, generating complex formulas, fixing those frustrating errors, automating really repetitive tasks using VBA macros it writes for you, and even guiding you to extract crucial insights and create visualizations using things like pivot tables. The sources frame this as being future ready and saving a lot of time. And the amazing part is, it's all done without you needing any real coding expertise. It really feels like making technology work for you, freeing you up.
Indeed. It genuinely lowers the barrier to sophisticated data handling. And that, I think, brings us to a final, maybe provocative thought for you, the listener, to consider. In a world where AI like this can automate so much of the routine, the manual stuff, what happens to our own role? Does it simply free us up for more strategic thinking, deeper analysis, more creative problem solving? Which sounds great, right? Or maybe. Does it also challenge us to learn entirely new ways of working, new ways of collaborating with these intelligent tools? What new skills actually become the most valuable when AI can handle all the rote tasks? How can you personally leverage these capabilities, not just to be faster, but to make your own work more meaningful, more impactful? Something to think about. We really encourage you to take these ideas, maybe fire up ChatGPT, open your own spreadsheet, and just plug, see what's possible.